Hey guys, it's Julia. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a little bit of a chit chat, get ready with me, and I want to do a little thing that I'm dubbing transparency talks. I want to talk about some topics and answer any questions that you guys have about the other side of YouTube, about being a creator, being a small influencer, whatever you want to call it, being transparent about things that you wish other creators were more transparent about. So I had you guys submit questions through like Instagram stories and Twitter. Most of the questions are from Twitter because I love Twitter, and I just answered as many of them as I possibly can while I did this like kind of soft glam.
Disgrace to humanity.
And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let's get into it. Alright, starting off with primer, I'm going to go in with a Good Molecule silicone-free priming moisturizer. I've just been really erring on the side of more like hydrating primers for me just because my skin is doing very, very bad right now with the dryness. So I've been trying out this brand for quite a bit. I'm waiting to share my review though just because it's a skincare brand and I really want to make sure I test everything very thoroughly for at least a month beforehand. But starting off with some of the questions, first I wanted to address how do hate comments affect you? And you know what? If I'd been filming this video about a week ago, I probably would have had like a very different answer. For the most part, they don't. It definitely was a situation where when I first started out doing YouTube, I remember how I felt when I got my first ever hate comment, and it was like the worst feeling. I was ready to quit. Obviously, did not do that. I'm still here. Sorry. It's kind of weird. I think you both get like stronger in developing a thicker skin, but you also kind of get desensitized to it over time. I think it has helped me a lot to develop a thicker skin and just be more confident in myself and know like when something is being said that's not true. So I think really the only hate comments that really get to me are things that I'm already sensitive about or things that I think about myself. The most viewed video on my channel is a video of me opening up about my past with an eating disorder and sharing my struggles with body dysmorphia and how that's affected my decision to have surgery. Obviously that is something I am more sensitive about, even though those comments in a way are like less personal because they're commenting on my physical appearance and not like stuff that I say and stuff that I believe, because it's deeply rooted in something I either am still insecure about or have been insecure about in the past. Those are harder for me to deal with. If you'd asked me about a week ago, I'd be like, oh yeah, I don't care about hate comments at all. But on like Tuesday of this week, I had a night where I was crying to my roommate because I was like feeling so shitty. And then I was also feeling bad about feeling shitty because I try and not let those things affect me, and I was letting it get to me, and I was ashamed of letting it get to me. And this is why I go to therapy. So with regards to hate comments, I think that's probably been the thing that's been hardest to adjust to, but has also allowed me to grow the most. I'm trying to use up this Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation, which you guys know I don't like. So I'm gonna force myself to use this today, but I'm probably not gonna love how my foundation turns out. If anyone ultra dry has like tips on how to make this slightly more manageable, please let me know. I've tried like everything, mixing in liquid foundations, mixing in like beauty oils. I know a lot of people love this foundation, including some people who have dry skin that I watch, but it's kind of a travesty, honestly.
That's my opinion!
Next question I want to talk about is it actually a hard job? Objectively speaking, like, no. It's not like a hard labor job where it's fairly easy to set up a camera, do your makeup on camera, talk about products and review things. Like the mechanical side of things, which is pretty much what the viewers see, that's like not the hard part. So I think that's where people get the perception that like being a YouTuber is not a real job. I don't think it's like hard, and there are definitely harder jobs out there. Which is why sometimes I do give side eye to people who complain too much about like, oh my god, being a YouTuber is so hard. It's like, it can be. I find that the hardest parts are consistency. The biggest thing for being able to grow your audience is to upload consistently. And for most people, including me, it's a side hustle. It's not a full-time job, so I have to always take the time to do this outside of school. I'm doing 2 other part-time jobs right now. Family obligations, sleep, my will and need to party, etc. So I think, yeah, you do need to make sacrifices, but that's the same with any other job. I think the hardest part of the job is honestly the emotional side of it. Being okay with having yourself out there for judgment. And I do want to say, I really hate this like kind of undercurrent and ideal that if you are on YouTube or if you are a public figure, you're putting yourself out there to be criticized, aka bullied. If you are a public figure, I think you are putting yourself out there to be constructively criticized. But I feel like people use people's fame or public figure status as an excuse to bully them without consequences. You can't go onto Jaclyn Hill's public Twitter page and bully her for being fat and then still think that you're a better person than Jaclyn Hill. That's not how it works. You don't get to say like just because she's a public figure means that she is immune to criticism or that she should hear these things. Basically the point that I was trying to make, but I think I got distracted on my way there. There are plenty of like valid reasons to criticize Jaclyn Hill, but when people pick apart and bully influencers solely based on how they look and their appearance, calling Jaclyn Hill fat, or for example like bullying James Charles over things that are nonsensical when there are plenty of actual valid reasons to criticize them for, they're able to like take these things and be like, look, everybody criticizing me is mean-spirited and bullying me, and then they're able to delegitimize actual criticisms of them because some people are sucky on the internet. So stop. Like, stop. My answer is, I guess no, it's not a hard job, but it's still a very real job. Some people don't treat it as such. I always try and make sure that I'm doing the best I can because you guys subscribe for a reason and I don't want to come out with subpar content. But the hardest part of the job isn't like ability-wise, it's just being able to cope emotionally, being secure enough in yourself to put yourself out there. Next question was really interesting. This one came from Twitter. Do you feel pressured to maintain a certain appearance on social media due to being an influencer? Yes and no. I try and be very careful with what I like convey on my platform because I think your social media presence is a reflection of who you are. That being said, I don't fake my personality. I don't try and be like more hyper on camera. I would say I more so try and control myself and control the image that I'm presenting for higher education. I want to get into med school in about 3 years, so for that reason I do try and make sure that I am staying factual on my channel, as non-controversial as possible hopefully, but staying true to myself and making sure that my channel reflects central values that I have. So world peace. And overall I'm like really happy with where my content is going right now. I like the more anti-consumerist side of things that I'm taking, especially with the inclusion of anti-hauls. I like the more commentary based videos where I can share more of my opinions and what I stand for. I like doing educational sides of things and I like sharing a little bit more of my personal life. But yes, while I do feel the need to keep my content as professional as possible because I know that it's a reflection of who I am and for the goals I have later on in life, I do need to make sure that I'm staying in touch with those as I continue here, but I don't feel the need to like deeply engineer the public image of myself. Like, I know what's true about myself. There are some things that are completely false that are spread about me. Example, I know there was a thing on Reddit claiming that I have like a ton of money. I don't. I used to feel the need to respond to everything and really have a control over the narrative of what's being said about me, but I think over time I've kind of relinquished a lot of that and just made sure that I know what I'm portraying and what I'm producing is authentic to myself, and that's like the best I can do for my own mental health. By the way, I'm really not focusing on the products I'm using. If you want details and I didn't say what the product was, I will put it in the description box, of course, but yeah, concealer, Cover FX Power Play. A lot of the questions that were submitted were about like monetization, money, income on YouTube, which I think is a totally fair question. The one that I want to answer is video monetization actually a sustainable income? LOL, no, it's shaky as hell and really does vary month to month. November and December are usually the like highest earning months of the year just because people watch a lot more. The ads are better in November, December. I made about triple what I'm gonna make in January. Because it's so variable month to month, it's definitely not a source of income where I would feel comfortable having it as my full-time job. That's like one of the many reasons why I'm not trying to pursue YouTube as my full-time job. I would like a very stable hospital salary. Also, I would like to do what I'm passionate about in my life. And of course I'm talking in my perspective of a smaller influencer. It is a nice amount of extra income, but it's definitely not something I would be able to live off of. And I think people who are able to make YouTube their full-time job definitely have other things going on the side because monetization itself is so incredibly fickle. And honestly, I would say I'm not even somebody who gets demonetized as often as other people do. Like I get demonetized maybe like 1 in every 25 videos. But I know some of my friends, especially LGBT creators, get hit with the demonetization way more often, and for them it's even more of an unsustainable income. Right now it is my main source of income because I am a full-time student, but I do have sources of income on the side of that. I have income from Poshmark. I do sponsorships when I can and I feel like they fit my aesthetic and brand. Any money I can make off of affiliate links from recommending products I genuinely like. But I started a spreadsheet I think sometime in the end of last year to keep track of all my income and all my spending. But also, like, now that I'm an adult, money just takes on such a different value in general. When I was 16 and I got like $100, I would be like, oh shit, I'm ballin'. And now most of the money that I make is going into savings for med school tuition, med school applications in a couple years. And I'll touch more on that later on in the video, but I wouldn't feel comfortable living off of just YouTube earnings on a daily basis. The next question is kind of related to that. What are the benefits of having a management label and why do you have one? This is an interesting question that I personally wanted to answer because I don't think it's very typical for YouTubers of my size to have a label. I signed on to Full Screen Media in October. They manage Cody Co. That was like the main thing that got me to sign on. I'm kidding, but they don't work for me, but I do work with them. I still consider myself like an indie creator because I have pretty much free reign over whatever I want to do. I don't ever have to run anything by them. For me, the main thing that's helpful right now with having a management label is mostly just having a contact at YouTube, because when you are a smaller creator, YouTube just pays even less attention to you, and having somebody who has direct contact to somebody at YouTube is really helpful to be able to resolve any like copyright or monetization issues you have, or anything technical on your channel, because YouTube's customer service is awful. So that's like the main thing that my label does for me, like the technical YouTube side of things. Also, if I ever need any type of legal representation, which you'd be surprised, sometimes it can be helpful in bringing in brand deals I might want to do. So for example, like my partnership with Skillshare last year, they were very helpful in just like facilitating that because they have more connections than I do. So for me, just having assistance on that side of things has been abundantly helpful. But for the most part, I'm still doing most of my own like business administration side of things. I still do my filming, my editing, pretty much everything on the creative side, as well as like picking out brand deals, executing brand deals, dealing with payments, dealing with the entire like business administration side of things. So over here, it's pretty much still a one-woman show. As I grow, they may take a bigger role, but I couldn't see myself ever having a channel where I don't have full creative control and I don't have the final say on everything. Basically what I'm saying is I'm never going to answer to anybody else. I don't think my content has changed at all since October or whatever. Basically what they just do for me is helping out a lot on the side and advocating for me when I can't advocate for myself. I've had a lot of requests to review the new big Colourpop Super Shock highlighters. This is from the blush collection in the shade You're a Catch, and it's so pretty. Obviously this is very interesting to me. They haven't done big pans of the Super Shocks ever, and I love the Super Shock formula. Ooh, okay. So I'm just gonna glaze it around the high points of my face. Okay, damn. Okay, next question. Are there any fans you recognize / know on a first name basis? I'm closest with the people on Twitter. So like most of the people who interact with my tweets on a daily basis, I do like recognize to a certain degree. Obviously I've never met any of them in real life, but most of my OGs I do like recognize and I do enjoy. So like Tara, Jen, a bunch of other people that I'm fucking blanking on names right now. And then obviously like my friends who are also my subscribers, but mostly I just regard as my friends. So like Hannah, Nisa, Abby, Georgia, etc. I do want to say though, probably the hardest thing about having grown a lot in terms of audience is that I cannot respond or even like read most of my DMs. If you've ever DM'd me and not gotten a response, I'm very sorry, but I probably wasn't able to read it. And honestly, I feel sometimes bad about responding to certain DMs because I want to be able to, if I'm going to respond to one person, I want to be able to respond to everybody. So for the most part, I try not to, so that I'm not feeling guilty about not being able to respond to every single person. Usually the best way to interact with me is on Twitter or on my YouTube comments, just because that's where I'm able to like mostly keep up with things. But like my Instagram DMs are a mess. Don't even get me started on the dick pics. It's disgusting! I think for eyes I'm gonna do something somewhat simple. I'm gonna use the new Colourpop Blush Crush palette. And oh, yay, I don't have any clean brushes. That's great. I love that for me. Grab the shade here called Cheek to Cheek. This was a really interesting question to me. Do you feel like you have a specific role to play within the beauty community because you're a woman of color? Before anyone comments, I'm half Asian. Yes, that does count. I hate when people tell me that I don't count because I'm only half or whatever. Do you feel pressure about your race in regards to how you portray yourself and everything online? Sorry if that's not worded well, but yeah. This is a really interesting question to me because I have struggled a lot with my own identity just over time, being told that I'm not enough and that I don't count as Asian, even though that's literally half of my genetics. I think there is a huge underrepresentation of like Asian women in the beauty space. I would say I feel more of a responsibility towards like the biracial community and being able to portray being mixed race as something that is like not weird. I'm really proud of who I am, and I consistently deal with people telling me that I'm not enough because I'm only half of one thing. But in general, I don't really focus a lot on my ethnicity on my channel because I don't want to make it like this main thing. I just want to portray myself in a positive light and hopefully be that type of representation for some people, but I don't want it to be this like outspoken thing where it's just the only thing that you see about me. I think that's how we normalize things, is just like, yeah, it's not like the main thing about her. She has other interesting things about her. That's just one element that makes me me. I don't know if I'm explaining that correctly. I have a really hard time being eloquent about certain things where I am still trying to navigate my own thoughts on it. So, I mean, I guess to a certain degree, yes, but more so I just try and like tacitly and very like subtly spread awareness of like, hey, biracial people exist. We're here. We are normal and we are enough. So yeah, I'm gonna grab a little bit of the shade here called How Rouge. This is a matte with a micro glitter in it. I'm still gonna use it though. Next question asks, do people treat you differently when they find out you are quote-unquote YouTube famous? I'm not. This is something I've become a little bit more paranoid than I would like to admit over the past couple months about. I think because for so long I was not monetized, it was purely just something I was doing on the side for complete funsies. Up until like a certain milestone, I don't think people really took it seriously in my real life. I would say like once I started getting PR, it's really interesting to see people that have never cared about you try and become friends with you once they think that they can gain something. Throughout senior year, I would do this thing like whenever I had accumulated like a basket of PR products that were sent to me that I wasn't really gonna use, I would sometimes bring them into school and just like give them to people. And that was kind of an eye-opening experience for me because like people who have never really made an effort to talk to me before were like, oh my god, Julia, I love your channel. Obviously that's gonna happen. I know enough to like not let people take advantage of me when they clearly don't care about me otherwise. But like conversely, on the negative side of things, I think unfortunately YouTube has made me a little bit more paranoid in my social interactions and relationships than I was beforehand. Because I've had moments in like genuine friendships where they're actually not using me, but I've like been cautious and been like, okay, I don't want to get too close to somebody. And I don't even think that's just like about YouTube. I'm just like very protective of myself and my emotions. Especially like throughout my academic journey, I've had people like use me for notes, use me as like a study tool and nothing more. YouTube and my experiences with that has piled on to my like natural caution about people and getting close to people. And that's something I'm trying to work on myself because I know that most people are like nice and good. But like for the most part, I think people are just more like interested in it out of genuine curiosity because it's like more normal now, but it's like still a unique kind of thing. So, but for the most part, I know who my real ones are. And sometimes I'm wrong and I want to try and work on being more trusting of people. Not to say that I should just be like, yeah, you can take whatever you want from me, but I want to be able to open up to people more and trust people a lot more. I have like 3 questions left and I am rambling, so I need to like keep doing my eye makeup. I grab a little bit of the shade down here called Blush Wine and just like stick that on the outer corner of my eyes. This is something I haven't used in a while, these Jouer Skinny Dip Shimmer Shadows. It's just a palette of all metallics and these are really pretty and I feel guilty for not having used them in a while, so I'm gonna grab the shade here called Bikini on my finger. Next question is, do you actually see your subscribers and online friends as friends when you haven't met most of them? This is a really, really interesting topic. I think I want to do like a more in-depth get ready with me talking about parasocial relationships because I have a lot of thoughts. So if you want to see that, let me know and I will be happy to make that. Short, uncomplicated answer, which there is no such thing as because I think it's a very interesting and very intricate topic and I don't think that my feelings can be boiled down to a simple yes or no. I would say I err more to the side of no. I'm very cautious about seeing online interactions as like genuine friendships. Allow me to explain myself though because I think that that can be very misconstrued very quickly. Blurring the lines of online friendships is dangerous. Not in the sense of like you stalker stuff, but I think even subconsciously blurring the lines between online interactions and like real life friendship interactions can be really, really dangerous for us because of how it affects our subconscious feelings towards other people. I of course very much value the interactions I have with people online, with my subscribers, my audience, my online friends as well. You guys have given me a reason for living sometimes. I'm not afraid to say that, that's not an understatement. But because I'm such a private person, I'm very careful to keep those boundaries that I feel comfortable with and make sure that I'm never put in an uncomfortable situation. I've had to block people because they've tried to get way too close to me to a point where I've had somebody try and come visit me at my school and I had to call campus police. So I think for the most part, it's just establishing healthy boundaries and a healthy medium in that relationship. I have to understand that I'm not friends with Samantha Ravindal if she like puts a heart on my comment or if she responds to one of my tweets, because Samantha Ravindal does follow me and I'm a fan of Samantha Ravindal and I watch her a lot and I feel like I know a lot about her life. I'm not her friend, she's not my friend. I understand the relationship there, but I can feel close to someone and emotionally connected with someone and I can have a lot more of a genuine relationship with someone online than somebody in real life. I still need to understand the nature of that friendship and like the boundaries that comes with that. I see you guys as important parts of my life and relationships that are really valuable to me and have made me so much of a happier person, but I need to maintain boundaries. Every creator and every viewer, every subscriber needs to have boundaries that are well maintained and well understood by both sides. If you want me to elaborate more on that, I have a lot of thoughts and I feel like it's a really, really interesting topic that really cannot be boiled down into like a one question answer. All right, mascara and lashes are on. I really actually very much like how this look turned out. This is like something No, this is a little bit more dramatic than what I would wear to class, but I think it's really pretty. Are there any products that you have but don't use on screen? Yeah. There are products I just feel like I don't really want to give them exposure on my channel. I have one liquid lipstick from Jeffree Star that I got as a Christmas gift from somebody who didn't really know me, but just knew that I liked makeup. It's a good formula, not revolutionary or anything, but not something I want to share on my channel, obviously. I have a Kat Von D brow pomade I bought like literally I think a month before the anti-vax thing happened. A lot of people are asking me about my like current thoughts on Kat Von D now that she's leaving the brand. Developing, pending. I'm still like processing how I feel and still like thinking about it, but I don't really have a conclusive answer on whether or not I'm like totally chill with KVD vegan beauty now. But yeah, I have like a Kat Von D brow pomade that I've been trying to use up and I'm almost done with it. It's literally in my dorm. I'm almost done with it. I just don't like throwing away products. But I think what the question was implying was like, do you have certain products that you like love but keep a secret because you want to keep them as a secret for yourself? Like no, like literally what is the point of that? I'm a beauty channel and my channel is about sharing products that I like, so there's no point in me keeping a product that I like a secret. Evidence of that, you may ask? Colourpop Ritz. I do sometimes wish that that shadow was my secret, but alas, here we are. I've started a cult. You know what? Matte lips have just not been hitting the same. I always end up adding a little bit of gloss at the end. Alright, and then the final question, do you think that anybody can be an influencer? To a certain degree, no. I think there's a lot of moving parts that go with being an influencer. I hate the word influencer. Content creator, whatever, YouTuber. There are a lot of different elements that contribute to someone having success on the platform. I do think you have to have a certain level of skill. Obviously, there are some, like, makeup influencers slash creators who don't have like the crazy artistic skills that a lot of Instagram artists do. But I think both having skill at doing makeup, being able to, I guess if you're a review channel, articulate your reviews, and then I think having like a business skill set as well are all things that you need a basic level of in order to do well on the platform. Whether that's like makeup skill, business tact, or just like social skills, sociability, I think those are all very important things to have. I think different creators that we see who are successful all fall on the spectrum of that. I think James Charles, for example, is very skilled at makeup, also very skilled at Facetune. He's also great at business and great at curating his brand, which is sisters? Being annoying? I don't know. I think Tati, for example, doesn't do like artistic drawing hurricanes on her face, thankfully. She and I guess James are great at the business side of things, and she's also very good at, I'm gonna say like manipulating people isn't the right word, but she's very good at like playing to people's emotions and getting people on her side. I think in addition to having a level of skill, I think you also have to have a personality that enough people vibe with. That comes with like not being super nervous on camera, not sounding like you're reciting things off a script. Authenticity is very hard to convey if you don't have it. Like even if people can't put their finger on something that's wrong, people can usually feel it. And I think those are vibes that make people turn off of a video and turn off of a channel entirely. I think you have to have the tenacity to keep up with it. You don't need to have like a crazy upload schedule where you're uploading every day, but I think you do have to be consistent, and if a video doesn't do well, you can't just like get discouraged and then not upload for 2 months. You are gonna have off days and you are gonna have hard times. Being able to see the long run and the big picture is a really huge skill. And of course there's a certain level of privilege that comes with being able to afford like a good quality camera, a good quality mic. My mic is $16 from Amazon, but like still, film on a DSLR. I think while like iPhone film videos are great, for example like Antonio Garza has like millions of subscribers and she only films on an iPhone. But I think that is an anomaly and that's definitely an exception to the rule. Once you get to a certain level, people start expecting a certain level of quality. I think you also need a very thick skin. You need to be able to deal with hate comments that'll inevitably come your way. Not to say that you need to be okay with them. You definitely don't need to be, but you need to be able to be secure enough in yourself to understand like that's not true. People saying I'm ugly doesn't make me ugly. And then also you can't just drop everything and expect it to be a sustainable job. Don't quit your day job. Don't drop out of school, because very few people can live off this sustainably. I certainly cannot, and I wouldn't even want to. I'm not saying you have to know your goals, but do not have unrealistic expectations. There's a certain level of romanticism that comes with saying like everyone can be an influencer. It's something that everyone can do, and yes, it's open to everybody, but I think you still need to put a certain level of effort into it and be a certain type of person.
You believe God is a woman. You believe God!
Alright guys, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's little transparency talk. I really like doing videos about this, just talking about the side of things that maybe are kind of neglected. Because as much as I love doing videos talking about good products, I also like sharing the other side of things, and this was very interesting for me to just like think about, and I hope was somewhat interesting for you guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed down below, and also follow me on Instagram to see makeup looks like this posted. And if you made it to the very end of this video, you get the bonus meme. Love you. Bye.
Okay.